Hello, yes, this is an intro where I'm telling you what episodes we're watching today. We're watching The Forge and Awakening and Kir'Shara. It's the Vulcan Reformation arc in Enterprise Season 4, Episodes 7, 8, and 9.
Good
So,
times.
yeah. The best arc in Enterprise, really. Vulcan Reformation's great. So, yeah, everyone queue up for Episode 7, The Forge. As always, the Discord is open. There's a link in the description if people want to just talk about Star Trek or, whatever, because we only kind of talk about Star Trek, really.
It is the habit.
Star Trek's just there in the background. It's chill.
It's a nice source of topics. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's not LaForge. LaForge isn't in this show. He is in Voyager. He's...
The only reason I'm watching Enterprise is to see Geordie LaForge.
Yeah.
I'm sure LeVar at least directed an episode or two. He's probably here. Oh no, I know he did, because in one of the outtakes, Trip messes up in his line. He's like, oh, our worst fear is failing LeVar. He failed LeVar, how dare he?
Just like Troy.
How did Troy fail LeVar?
That's what he was all afraid of. That he would meet LeVar Burton and disappoint him.
What? What are you talking about? Oh.
The community.
You understand how that's confusing in this context.
Yes. My bad. Yeah, obviously. Troy with a Y. Obviously, I said it with a Y. Why couldn't you hear me?
Looking through on IMDb, and actually I don't think LeVar Burton ever did any Enterprise.
That's not... I know he did. I know for a fact that he did.
What years was Enterprise made?
2003-ish?
I think it ended in
Star Trek.
2004.
I've got Star Trek Online in 2010.
Are you
And
looking
I've
at the
got-
acting credits or the directing credits? Because they're in different sections on IMDb.
Oh yeah, they are, aren't they? Hang on. They've rearranged IMDb as well.
He directed 9 episodes in Enterprise.
There we go. They seem to. I don't seem to be able to see his directing credits on IMDb right now.
Did you scroll down?
Did I scroll down? No.
Yes.
No, of course I didn't scroll down.
Well,
I'm
you
scrolling
should-
down.
So,
got
LeVar
to the
Burton
bottom.
directed Terra Nova with The Diggers and The Underside.
Yes,
Fortunate
what episode?
Son with Travis's... No, that wasn't Travis's angry brother. That was Evil Ryan, who took a Nausicaan captive. He directed Cogenitor with the third gender person, Charles, who was oppressed. First Flight, which is a flashback to the NX Alpha and Beta. Extinction with the... Oh, they were turned into aliens and kept looking for that city under the ground.
Oh yeah.
Similitude with Clone Sim, who got eaten. The Forgotten?
Eaten?
What was the Forgotten?
Can't remember.
Something with Degra. The Augments and Demons.
Fairly ironic that we've forgotten what The Forgotten was about.
It is a very generic title, to be fair.
Yeah.
Everyone, 1 minute. Everyone be queued up to Episode 7, Season 4, The Forge.
I need the countdown.
LaForge.
Yes,
We're watching
here's the
The Forge.
countdown for you.
We mean Vulcan's Forge.
Ah yes, the countdown.
Yes. Also, I watched an episode of Deep Space Nine last night, and they said something like, "Oh, I would rather walk
I
across
also
Vulcan's
watched an
Forge
episode
than
of
do
Deep
that."
Space Nine.
So apparently, the Forge has been canon for quite a while before Enterprise.
It's interesting.
It's almost as though the people who were writing Star Trek before had a grasp of, the lore and the canon.
I like how there are two simultaneous complaints about New Trek, which is one that they're... Well, hang on. I'm going to hold off because we're about to count down. Everybody press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. There are two simultaneous complaints about New Trek. One is that they have not watched any of the old series, they don't care, they don't pay attention. And the other is that they make too many references to the old series.
Right. Well, what they do is, hold on, Ryan. It's like they control F'd a bunch of things and stuck them in and sprinkled them in without understanding the context of those things. So,
Well, what it
know
feels
I
like to
mean?
me
Like,
sometimes
they're like,
is that
oh,
they've watched Star Trek like 5 years ago, and they've remembered bits and pieces and said, "Oh, I remember that reference. Let's throw that in there," not remembering that in the next episode that was completely overwritten or something like that.
well, I don't know. I just feel like they're like, how much can we pack into a scene for people to be like, oh, there's that thing. Oh, look, it's the Calypso. Oh, look, it's the banner from Picard Day. Oh, look, and it's like,
Hey, look, there's the IDIC symbol from the old, from the classic Star Trek series.
maybe
It's a
just
weird
focus.
statue, though. It doesn't even look like a Vulcan.
No, it doesn't. But when I was a
Guess
kid,
Did we
it's
see the
one
ears?
when I was a kid, I read this book, Star Trek novel called Vulcan's Forge, and it talks about how when Spock was a kid, he had the Scylla cat or whatnot, a domestic one.
Oh, I think I've read that one, yeah.
Yeah, you should. You're not a real Trek fan.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. I was gonna say like the countdown and the voice is all modulated on the same mixer because that's the way Discord works. So
But it was
I can't.
a really good book because
Well,
like
Robo,
yeah,
if you want them to be separate, you could set up your own countdown timer.
Vulcan is
Well,
a
I mean-
desert planet, and the god Hephaestus, who was the blacksmith
God
of the
of-
gods.
He makes things.
Yeah, he makes anvils and lightning bolts for Zeus. So that's Vulcan.
Which,
in
by the
Roman-
way, for those who don't know, that's not how lightning works.
What? No.
I mean, they didn't know that back then. So, but yeah, and the giant there's a lot of caves where you can hide in, which comes in handy for this episode.
Oh yeah, the Star
No.
Wars complaint. Too many made up force powers, as opposed to
Yeah.
Look, you are constrained to the force powers that we saw on screen in the original 3 movies. That's
why
it. Well,
This is the last
I'm
time we
just-
see Admiral
it's a joke.
Forrest. So
the
enjoy him while you
saddest
can.
part of all of Enterprise.
I've read so many articles that said like, oh, the sequel trilogy would have been even worse if they had made what George Lucas wanted, where he wanted to go into the micro world of the Metachlorians, and all the movie was gonna
Oh my god.
to be about microorganisms,
I've
and
been
it's
hearing
like,
a lot about midi-chlorians.
That
I've been
sounds-
wondering, what are midi-chlorians?
just
Sounds
because
astoundingly awful.
George
Something
Lucas
George
may
Lucas
have made
up when he went mad.
Yeah, just because George Lucas would have made something even worse doesn't make the sequel trilogy any better. Like they're
No.
comparing it to a hypothetical thing that doesn't exist, and be like, well, it's not as bad as that movie that never got made, right?
Could
It's
I
like,
compare
what?
to
I mean,
the future that Star Trek would have gone in if Gene Roddenberry stayed in control? Because that would have been awful.
Yes.
oh really?
Well, but maybe, but it didn't happen, did it?
What was the future that? What was he gonna do?
Well, did you watch the episodes that Gene made? They were
Oh, okay, yes.
Code of
Right,
honor.
okay. Just on general principle, yeah.
yeah.
That's what he would have done. More of that, yes.
Yeah,
I honestly think if it continued the Star Wars Legends story that was already being written, like,
There was a couple X-rated Ferengi episodes that never got filmed.
oh,
What?
Where people on his writing staff had to tell him, stop talking about the Ferengi genitals. Nobody wants to see that, Gene.
Yeah. I mean, like that's not inaccurate. They
Wow.
Literally a true
did
story.
talk
yeah.
about Ferengi genitals a lot.
His writing team
Wow.
had to take him off the edge.
That's Jesus.
Had to talk them down. Like, listen, Gene, you're making some people uncomfortable here. We understand they have big ears,
Okay.
but
Nah.
Oh no! Not the Admiral.
Admiral Forrest. It doesn't even look like he got hurt here. It just the thing fell over. Like
One.
What?
Okay, that. Okay, no, now he's hurt.
That looks like it could be a problem, though.
Before it was just the one column tipped over, but that was that
Yeah,
was
the
bad.
initial explosion, fine. The secondary explosion, yeah.
Yeah, but
this
this
is how explosions work.
Do you not do a little explosion to let everyone know that there's about to be a
Look
big
at how
explosion?
ripped Travis is.
So-
Look at those arms.
Oh, Travis!
So they show Phlox throwing the ball, and then they cut to the ball going in, and obviously, he didn't actually sink that shot because they
I
cut
have
it
faith
away.
in
And
John Billingsley.
So when they made Alien Resurrection, there's a scene where Ripley clone throws a ball over her shoulder and it goes in, 3-point shot, nothing but net, right? Well, they were filming that and she was trying to actually do it, and they did like 100-something takes and she missed it. And they're like, all right, listen, this is the last take. Either you get it or you don't. If you don't, then we'll just do it in post. We'll cut, And she throws the ball over her shoulder and it goes in. And what's his name? The guy who did Devil Boy or whatever. What's his name?
Ron Perlman?
The big chin. Yeah, Ron Perlman. He reacted like he went nuts and like he ruined the take. So like if you watch, like you'll see that they like pan scan over, like edit him out of the scene when she throws the ball
Wow.
over her shoulder.
Thanks, Ron. Oh, look, it's that guy. If you remember in Deep Space Nine, he was the guy who led a coup on Earth. I wonder what kind of character he plays in this series.
He's probably a dick.
He might play exactly the same character with a different haircut.
Maybe he's his, well, I suppose with this kind of timeline, father. It could work, right?
What was his name in DS9? Admiral Layton. Yeah, it was Admiral Layton. And he was mean.
Leighton was a problem.
Yeah, no, Admiral Forrest was my favorite admiral in Star Trek, and now he's gone.
He may
What
have
do we
been the
even
only
have left?
competent admiral in the
We're
history
gonna
of
get
Star
like
Trek.
Admiral Gardner. Who cares about Admiral
one of
Gardner?
the very small amount of admirals that
Yeah,
wasn't
there are-
bad, like evil
Vance.
admiral.
Vance is
He's
cool.
the admiral that we had for a long period of time who was consistently okay.
Good admiral, yeah.
Well, we still have... We have Admiral Nechayev. She's not evil. We have Admiral Vance. He's not evil.
Yeah.
Admiral Bachayev.
Nechayev is just doing her job. She's not evil.
Oh, just doing my job. Just doing my job. That excuse.
My main thing about Admiral Nechayev is that one thing, the episode where they were trying to forcibly relocate Native Americans again.
Yeah.
Where Captain Picard was yelling at her, was like, "Oh, I will not do this. Have you considered the historical precedent?" And she's like, "Dude, I already went on about this with the Federation Council. I tried, man. They're still making us do it." It's like she's just doing her job. She tries.
She should have resigned in protest.
Captain Picard did, and after she insisted that the council is making them do it, he went along with it.
Captain Picard found a solution.
No, he didn't.
And, I'd love to find out what happened to them once the Dominion war lit off, I'm pretty sure they ended up being Maquis. Didn't we see some Native American Maquis in Deep Space Nine? I just assumed it was part of them.
The main thing we know is that Chakotay's dad, the actor, also plays one of the Native Americans in that colony. It's not clear that they're the same person, but it's the same actor. And Chakotay's Maquis.
So yeah, possibly.
So they might be dead. It's a distinct possibility that all the colonists on Dorvan 2 have ceased to exist. It's the scary music. What did you find? Test tubes.
Oh.
It's a weird bomb.
He's just lifted up a massive pillar, Reed.
Yeah, it's probably fine. Can't they just beam away the bomb?
It's a good thing Travis is so ripped, because otherwise he wouldn't be able to hold that up.
Yeah, that's why he has to do
So-
this. He has the biggest arms of the crew.
The question is, why would you send the helmsman to do this? Seems like a bad choice. They just didn't have anything else for him to do today.
Well, who would they send?
I don't know, maybe a Mako? Like
A
a demolitions expert? IED Mako dude? Like, come on.
I don't get the impression they were sweeping for bombs. They were
But
doing
they're-
like
look,
scientific
You know the
scanning.
potential is there because you're going somewhere where a bomb just went off. There could be unexploded ordnance, submunitions, any sorts of stuff.
Yeah, most bomb incidents are investigated by EOD.
Reed is here.
But
Reed's the armory officer. His specific thing is disarming bombs. He has like 2 episodes
But
about
why
it.
is the helmsman here?
Yeah, okay, that's a fair question. I was going to say, Reed is like most naval
yeah, I'm not-
EOD.
Travis is like, can we get out
I'm
of
not
here?"
debating Reed's presence, obviously. But
Now is the good time to beam up. Now.
Okay, now the question is, why did the bomb makers equip this with speakers? Why does it beep?
question. I think that I want to say that was a Tiger Electronics toy or a something from
Probably.
a game from the 90s.
T'Pow? Ah, yes, T'Pow, most
Yeah.
famously known as the name of a shuttle in TNG. Is it a shuttle? It's a
the
Vulcan
DNA was
science ship or something.
Planted.
I don't think that guy is evil, but he looks evil.
Because he's a Vulcan politician, they're all evil.
Has he gotta be so rude about it? Why can't they work
Well, because-
together?
Because the
Because it
Vulcan's way
has
of
to
showing no
cover up.
emotion is being rude.
The Vulcan leadership planted the bomb themselves and framed the Sierranites so they could go after the Sierranites.
But does
You
he
that.
know that?
Probably not.
I
Does
don't
that
think
guy
he
know
knows
it?
that. I think he's just a dick. He's just mean. Is Admiral Forrest in here too, or are these the randos we don't care about?
Admiral Force is there.
I assume he's leaning on Admiral Forrest right now.
Do you think that like when crew members get sucked out into space, you think that they go
Correction,
back and
that's
look for the
blown out.
body? Blown out. Yeah, blown out.
What about that? What about the
Do you
bodies?
think that they go back and recover the bodies, or they're just like, meh? Eh.
It's fine. Besides, if they recover the body, they're just going to bring them back, put them in a tube, and blow them out again. You don't do catch and release with a corpse. I like the green blood and bruising on Saval. It's good detail.
Nice touch.
I also like the little hand thing. He's a good actor. I don't know the actor's name, but he's a good actor.
Yeah.
What's his name? Is it Gary? Ambassador Saval, Gary Graham. Okay, it was Gary. Still is, presumably.
Did he just tell him to like disobey orders and violate every possible law he can to find the truth?
Yes. Yes, he did.
He's decided to take Admiral Forrest's way of doing things to heart.
The human way. He's been corrupted. Oh,
Spent too
yeah,
much
it's
time
the
with
husband.
humans.
I forgot about him.
Oh, it is agreeable to see you again. Not really. Yeah, please don't touch me with your 2 fingers. It's creepy.
Did he know?
Did he know that it's a plot? That it's a coup?
Yeah.
No. This guy's on her side. He's just a creep about it.
Okay. I haven't watched this series of Enterprise for a while, so I can't remember.
Well, I say he's on her side. He did also literally blackmail her into marrying him. So
It's only logical.
He's on her side about this issue, at least. It's been a while since we've had a dating tip, but generally, don't blackmail people into dating you. That seems like a good tip.
That's a good dating tip.
Ooh, behind Archer, he has a CD rack.
He does, but it's filled with the like TOS style discs, like the red, yellow, and.
Are they? Those just look like regular CD cases to me.
Yeah, well, second.
Yeah, they use green discs in this, don't they?
God, I haven't seen a CD rack in like 10 years.
Oh wow!
Big one in my closet.
I used to have this big stack of blank discs just for burning more copies of games that we had.
He's I bet you that's a rack of water polo matches on disc.
God.
You know I'm right. I still got a spool of CDRs.
Technology won't work.
Technology, like it. His
You know
clothes
what?
aren't going to work. His handbag isn't going to work.
He could bring a gun. I bet you a gun will work. How about a gun?
All right, that's technology.
Yeah, sorry, no, technology doesn't work.
I'm pretty sure that a gun, like I'm not talking about a phaser. I mean a gun, like an AR-15.
You're talking about a projectile launcher, but no, that's technology. Technology doesn't work.
No, it's not this type of technology they're talking about.
But they just said technology. They didn't say electronics. They said technology. Also,
you know that they meant electronics.
I know.
It's a silly line.
I never noticed on the ceiling of the hallway, they just have like sconces.
Sconces?
Soft yellow lighting.
Oh yeah.
It's supposed to be like a submarine. You know what they didn't capture the submarine experience is like the hot bunking where like you have 3 shifts, right? 3 crewmen per bed because while one
if you're
crewman
closer
is up
to
for 16 hours.
to your buddies, to your coworkers, you'll be more effective working together. So they have all the sailors just cuddle.
No, they don't cuddle. It's just like you get 8
Well,
hours in the bunk.
to a bed.
Then you're getting out of the bunk and someone else is getting in the bunk.
No, cuddle.
No.
The military could do with some more cuddling. There's that. In I think it was ancient times, they had this whole, like a whole battalion that was just made up of couples so that they would fight harder to protect each other.
Actually, that's a horrible idea.
Well, they tried it. I don't know if it worked or not. I just heard the story that they tried.
What happens is when you have like family together in one unit, and that sometimes a unit gets completely decimated, you just killed the whole family. Like you created orphans, or you just killed like all the siblings of a whole family, and
And that's the entire plot of Saving Private Ryan. Is
that's
he's the
yeah,
last
that's the
brother
entire
of
premise.
family.
Oh, so that's
premise.
why they changed it in TNG. So you don't create orphans, you have the entire family on the Enterprise. So if the parents die, the children die too. It's all good.
Yep, there you go. Good point. Yep,
Yeah,
just
that's the way
erase the
they
whole
solve the
family.
problem. Don't
Yeah,
lose
Dean-
less ship, just lose the entire families.
That always struck me as really weird, and I really dislike kids in general. So that was the thing I hated most about Next Generation was like kids running around in their stupid primary colored jumpsuits. They're always in like
Season
a
1, Picard
a
agrees
bright
with you.
teal
Yep.
or pink or
You know what?
Like,
That's why they
pretty much
really wanted
extent.
Worf to bring Alexandra on the ship. That's the reason.
To kill him?
that would have been
Makes
easy
sense.
enough
On
to
a
accomplish
5-year
if they
mission,
wanted
you'd
to.
want to have childrens and families and stuff, but it's also a horrible idea.
It's over, Silacat. I have the high ground. It definitely looked like the beast could get up there. It wasn't that steep. I don't know if that's true, Archer. I think Porthos would eat you if he had to.
Oh yeah, people
Pets
who
do
die
eat
in
their
their
owners if
house
they
with
die.
their pets end up eating them if nobody comes.
Which, you know, I mean, fair enough.
I feel like I don't know, maybe get into the cupboard where the dog food is first, but you know.
Well, I assume the dog has the dog food first and then eats the person.
You gotta eat the person while they're fresh.
This dog can just portion them up and stick them in the fridge. Big parts in the freezer.
How does the dog open? Oh, never mind.
Carefully. What if we, like, airdrop in with a parachute a letter? Like a package.
Like a halo.
Yeah.
What a halo
What,
drop, you know?
like in this new Star Trek film.
Do you
in the front.
remember? Did you remember the Red Bull guy that jumped skydove from space?
Felix Baumgartner.
Yeah, just do that.
Do that. Well, they did that in 2009 Star Trek.
Yeah.
Did they? I don't remember.
Yeah, down onto
Yeah, they
the
jumped
like
down to the platform.
Nero's platform thingy.
Oh yeah. And the one guy like misses totally and like gets
Oh,
wasted
yeah, 'cause
in
he
the
was-
beam.
They have a
He
red
just was
shirt.
like, oh, you know, I'm not gonna deploy my parachute until it's too late. I know, I'm dead.
Yeah,
Wasn't he like
Like-
really cocky or something?
yeah, they properly lent on him being a dick. Not just a red
it's like-
shirt, he was a dick.
And a red shirt.
I sort of
Yeah.
zoned out for a second. Are we talking about the dude in Discovery?
No, we're talking about the
No.
dude in 2009.
Oh, that guy. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that guy.
The guy who got sucked into the big red laser beam.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because he's the
Yeah,
worst.
it's just like, I'm not going to open my parachute. No.
This guy just pulled an Obi-Wan Kenobi on the Coelacanth. God, we really need to make this like Obi-Wan Kenobi in episode 4. Sorry, Ben Kenobi. What a name. We need to redub this so it doesn't sound like animals, so it just sounds like a crazy dude screaming. Scared away. It's raining now outside. Lovely. I got new
come with
headphones, so
me.
now I can actually hear stuff going on around me. It's raining now. Wow. So how's the weather for you guys?
I don't know. I've been hiking for a few miles in the park by my house. I think I can deal with it. Let's go.
The
Weather's
weather...
been slightly better here.
The weather in the UK is good.
Nice weather today.
It's even rainier? Wait,
It's
was that
sunny.
a CG
it's
desert?
mild. Yes.
We have real deserts.
They can just go out like about 20 minutes from the studio and film desert probably.
That doesn't sound right.
Vulcan's
Do
like a
Vulcans
camel.
not sweat?
We have nictitating membranes.
They have inner eyelids as well, apparently.
How do
We have
Vulcans
nictitating membranes.
how do Vulcans remove heat? Do they pant?
You don't want to know. So we have nictitating
do they
membranes.
radiate?
And
Are they really glowy?
They glow in the dark.
Oh my god, that's why the elves in Lord of the Rings, the elves glow. That must be why. That's how they get rid of their heat.
Glow.
Yeah, especially the elves have a thing in Lord of the Rings where, like, if you look at them with normal mortal sight, they just look like people with long hair. But if you can see their true forms,
so
like Frodo when he's halfway into the Shadow Realm when he got stabbed, and he sees Arwen is
Yeah.
all glowy.
Yeah, no, I know. I remember the bit you're referring to. Yeah.
that little pink bit in the corner of our eye, that's the evolutionary remnants of a nictitating membrane. And I think occasionally you get somebody who has a little bit more of it than others. Kind of like occasionally someone's born with a tail, you know? So
Indeed.
Ooh, sick
Oh.
burn.
hey dude.
For a Vulcan, that was positively savage.
Onwards.
Sand, fire.
Sandfire,
Sand,
yeah.
fire?
And fire.
It's sand with fire.
Is it? Is it just a sandstorm?
They said the forge has electrical sandstorms, so I assume it's just has a lot of static electricity, and that tends to like set dry brush on fire.
That would be quite a good guess, I think.
Thanks. My god. Do you suppose you can... What's the stuff going down the left side of Saval's jacket? That looks like Vulcan lettering. So I wonder if you can translate it.
Doesn't he always have that on his jacket?
Probably, but I mean, I don't look at his jacket that much.
True, true.
I'm too occupied
sure
by
a
his
lot of them-
beautiful face.
I'm sure a lot of them have like a sort of logo or insignia of some description. Maybe they don't use rank insignia, they just write it. Like literally it just says ambassador.
It just says, hello, my name is Saval. Oh, there's the electricity. Yeah, that's an electrical sandstorm.
Yep. No,
Nice.
it's a sand fire.
Oh, and some very real looking rocks they're climbing up.
Hmm.
Those are some good rocks.
Amazingly, they're not at the What's It rocks.
They're not what?
What are those rocks just outside LA that they always use?
Well, those weren't real rocks. These are fake rocks.
Well, yeah,
So I
that's what
assume
I'm
it's
saying.
just
Amazingly,
in-
they're not using some real rocks.
Yeah, they could just use... Nah. That's too much work. Just use the set. It's fine. Nobody will notice. I guess, well... They could bring fake rocks with them to the real rock so they can stack.
Yeah.
You just working that out now, T'Pol? Besides, he's not a Sirenite, he is the Sirenite. So, how about that game last night? Did you guys catch the Halo stream? No? That's cool.
I'm looking at Vulcan language things. I did not catch the game.
So, Saval must have tried this before, because he clearly knows how to do it. He knows that he can do it.
Yeah, how do we go from... Because what's the time from now till next gen?
It's like 200 years.
No.
150? I don't
Yeah.
know. It's a long time.
It shouldn't Spock have been born by now?
It's literally 200 years. This is the mid 22nd century, and TNG is the late 24th century.
It's been a while.
Eric's probably alive, but
Sarek is alive, but not
Yeah.
Spock.
All right. Where are we?
It also depends on at what point in Sarek's life Spock was born.
Hang on.
Well, we can probably work that out if we use Michael Burnham as a reference, because we get a flashback where when Michael Burnham was a baby, well, I say baby, like 8, that Spock was about the same age. We can probably
So
find when
Spock's
Michael was born.
birthday is given on Memory Alpha as January 6th, 2230.
And Sarek dies at some point during TNG. Season 5, I believe. Which is 2370 something.
He died of Vulcan Alzheimer's.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Enterprise Season 4 takes place approximately between 2154 and 2155.
So
Okay,
Spock's
so
not going to be
it's-
born for quite a while.
And even
Yeah,
Sarek would be 200 years old, 220 years old from now until TNG. So he might not even have been born yet.
Right, yeah, so Memory Alpha says Spock was born in 2230, so we're about 80 years before Spock's birth. According to Memory Alpha, Sarek was born in 2165, so we're about 10 years before Sarek's birth.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
All right, so yeah.
Great,
I'm
now
sure-
let's do
I'm
it for
sure I've read-
every TNG character.
Well, we only really need to know the Vulcans. We know the rest of them aren't going to be alive at this point.
T'Pau is still alive in TOS, so she's long running. Okay, so yes, Vulcans have a soul, but it can be
so-
transferred
More like
into
it's a
people.
backup image.
But yeah,
Yeah, T'Pau was 250 years old when we saw her in the original series.
Okay. That's pretty
I
old.
mean, I know she she looked kind of old, but I would have guessed more like 70 in human years, late 60s maybe.
Oh wait, no.
It's you.
I'm misreading.
Of course it
things.
was him. He was dressed like Darth Sidious.
No, she was 150 years old when she was in the original series.
Okay. So, plausible for a Vulcan.
Yeah. But yeah, this is taking place in like 2154, 2155.
Now, on this mind meld issue, I'm kind of with the evil coup guy, because how are you supposed to, like, display that evidence to a court? How does this work?
I mean, everyone could mind meld in the court. You all mind meld.
All the jurors mind meld with, well, not the witness, because he's going to be dead in 5 minutes. They have to mind meld with the guy who mind melded with the victim.
Yes. Well, yes, we're 110 years before the original series at this moment.
That's more years than I thought it was going to be.
What year did you think Enterprise took place?
Yeah, this is 2155. And then the original series is 2260.
They didn't progress very much then, did they?
Well, it seems like everything went backwards, really.
No, the
You know,
interfaces.
we lost.
People just got really good at memorizing controls, and they just decided to stop labeling things.
But we also lost touch screens and went back to buttons.
Yeah, well. So we
and also
increased in
slightly
warp
lost
factor a little
screens.
bit. We went up in warp factor, changed the warp scale, and made the ships look a bit sleeker and less detailed.
You know, if
But
they
also going
really
back
wanted
what I
to
was
make
originally
Discovery
wondering, somehow
a better show, they should
somehow
have
in
given the
half-
Discovery a grappler.
somehow in half the lifespan of a Vulcan, we went from, oh my god, mind melding is the greatest crime in history, to, hey, let's just mind meld, it's fine, guys. In like
I didn't get
100
the
years.
impression it was that big a deal. It was like on par with conservatives not being keen on gay marriage. I mean, eventually people just get over it.
No, because they're saying that the ambassador's about to have to like go in front of the high command and have a hearing and stuff. I think it's like bad.
It sounds like
Fine.
they don't like him for doing that.
I don't think they like him anyway.
Well, maybe not.
He's too close to the humans. Now, there was an intake that we did, which of Cyrandine there. You should go watch that. It's called Star Trek Intakes Cyranite Kane. You got... That didn't feel like a punch. Wait, T'Pol now has Starfleet rank insignia.
Yeah.
She's officially commander. But
They
she
give
doesn't
us
have a
Starfleet
Starfleet
commission.
uniform.
Yeah, that did happen at some point.
She got a commission
No.
last season, but they never put her in a uniform. But they did give her the pips.
She got a special discompensation to wear a different uniform on account of how sexy she is.
Don't make it weird, Rick.
Yeah, then God
That's
damn it,
literally
Rick-
literally what it is.
I know, Rick's making it weird. Rick, just give her a
okay,
uniform.
I'm just-
Ocean a different
I'm just-
uniform.
I'm putting it into words, but that's what's happening.
I want Hoshi in a different uniform. I want Travis in a
Travis,
different
have you seen his
uniform.
arms?
Look, Hoshi's not bad, but she's known to Paul.
Travis should have sleeveless uniform.
Exactly. Travis in a vest constantly.
Travis should have
Does
that
he-
thing that
wait,
the
does he
Rock
have a vest in
wore
Mirror
in,
Universe? I think he
in
might.
Voyager. Do you remember what the Rock wore in Voyager?
Yes.
The Rock War? What?
In Voyager. The
I'm
Rock is
familiar
in an
with
episode,
Voyager.
and he wears
Dwayne
an
The Rock
outfit.
Johnson.
Oh,
Go look
wait,
it up.
okay.
You can see what he wears.
Now, I thought when you said Rock War, I didn't hear capital RWORE. I heard WAR. It's like, what are the Rock Wars?
Yeah, do you not remember the Iraq War plotline in Voyager? Like 10 years before he
The
wore an
Iraq War
Iraqi
plot
bandana?
lines in Enterprise. It was last season.
I would say that there's probably very early in our history a couple Rock Wars that occurred.
Well,
I mean, the
the
first war
Shellyak
could have been a rock war.
are the Shellyak
That's what I'm
rocks?
saying. I don't think so.
Are the Tholians
But we did have the
rocks? Well, they're
silicone
minerals.
base.
Aliens are closer to rocks than the Shellyak are.
They're minerals.
The silicon-based
is
life
close enough.
forms, when they attacked the Enterprise,
I've got 77 on my birth street and 73.
Why did Gyrinx just sound...
So it's the alley between them.
Gyrinx, why is there like someone talking in the background? Like
yeah.
it sounds like an old radio announcer, but really quiet.
Okay, let me just come down.
I don't think he's talking to us anymore.
There's someone on the phone.
I was going to ask why they had sticks instead of a gun, but no, they said guns don't work.
One of them did have a gun.
Also, by the way, I should note that if the stream suddenly ends, then the stream's just over, because right now there is a thunderstorm outside. And if I lose power, I mean, that's it. It's done. Come back next week.
I have my monitors on a big UPS, my computer on a big UPS, and my router and modem on a separate, large but not quite as large UPS.
The next episode is Awakening. Everyone queue up for that. 1 minute.
You should be prepared. You should have a backup generator that'll kick on.
I have a UPS, but, well, I'm not even plugged into it right now, but it's not on my router anyway.
Well, if
I'd
you
have to get
change the
another
plugs
one.
fast enough, your computer won't notice. Just do it real quick.
Okay, by not
Technically
notice, it has to
correct.
be ridiculously quick.
Every time I say the weather's lovely, everyone thinks I always mean sunny. Why doesn't anyone else like the rain? The rain is the best weather.
I don't like the rain because I own a
Too
house
much
and rain
rain
damages
bad.
the house.
How badly is your house built that a few drops of water damage it?
Well, there's a couple issues.
Also,
in
you
the
should
roof.
press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. You should probably change the house so it isn't damaged by rain. Does it
So-
have a roof?
Why has everyone suddenly got muted? Anyway,
I don't know. They muted themselves.
did anyone hear?
What? Did anyone hear what? Speak.
We're never gonna know the end of that sentence, Ryan. He's just gone. He had an aneurysm.
4 people muted themselves, then Net Studios didn't mute himself, he just stopped talking. What happened? Everyone just... Okay. Maybe they just hate the episode Awakening. What even happens in Awakening? They, like, try to pull... He gets to talk to the old ghost man. And then they try to move the ghost man to a different brain.
Well, now that I'm the only person not muted, let's talk more about the Ferengi.
Let's not. Unless you want to talk about the magnificent Ferengi.
I'm back.
Wow, where did you go? You left us.
I figured you guys didn't want to listen to me go to the toilet.
You didn't ask permission to use the bathroom.
I'm sorry, Mr. Man.
The potty pass for the Star Trek watch along, it's on a giant keychain that's shaped like the Enterprise D,
Hang
so
on,
you don't lose it.
This Vulcan High Command has the same sconces that Enterprise does.
It's just maybe the Vulcans designed the lighting on the Enterprise.
Maybe they shop at the same IKEA. Space.
They
IKEA.
wanted Paul to feel at home, so they bought Vulcan lighting on.
I'm noticing that everyone has the same lettering or symbols along the left
Wait.
side.
Would the space
must be
IKEA
cool.
be? Would the space IKEA be run by the Borg since they sound Swedish?
I guess. I don't know if you want to shop there, though.
Have you been to an IKEA? It's like being inside of a Borg cube.
Yeah,
I have been to an
everything's
IKEA.
exactly
It
like
didn't
laid out.
feel like a Borg cube.
It's hot. It's humid. It smells funny. It's dimly lit. There's people just shambling around like zombies. It's definitely like a Borg cube, man. They all go
It's
in one
designed
direction.
From efficiency, there's nothing there that doesn't need to be. It's just like it flows. You're like
There's definitely
led
stuff.
through.
I mean, it just
Actually,
seemed like
yeah.
a big store to me. It wasn't that weird. It was just a shop.
Did I ever share my IKEA experience? The first time I went to an IKEA, after I went through the whole store and I had like my list of stuff I had to get out of like the warehouse area, I'm in the warehouse area collecting all the packages, and there's a girl that was there, and all of a sudden she just had a breakdown. She started crying, and she collapsed on the floor, and she's just crying and crying and yelling and screaming. Like when I say girl, she was like 20s, right? And like someone tried to talk to her and then just kind of like walked away, and she was just completely inconsolable, crying. Like no idea what happened to that woman to this day, obviously. But I always wondered. I'm like, what? Did she get bad news? Like, did she discover that she drove 300 miles to IKEA, but they won't get her package down out of the shelving until they close, and then she'll have to come back tomorrow? And like, what was it? I wanted to know.
This will haunt you for the rest of your life.
You just realised what being in an IKEA entails.
So yeah, if they run out of the stuff that you want on the first shelf and they have it up like in the shelving, like where they have to get it with a forklift, they won't get it until the store is closed. So you're just SOLs.
I mean,
like
what are
even
you
if you
gonna
look
do
up
about
online,
it? Go to a different store?
well, you can't because this IKEA is the only one in like 700 miles. So, my point is, there's a hotel by
like a
IKEA.
USA
You can stay the
problem.
night, but
Do they get kickbacks?
sounds like a USA problem. The hotel? I
Does
don't know if they
IKEA get
like
kickbacks from the hotel? by
maybe
making
it's a
people work?
conspiracy to keep people there, and they get, yeah, maybe that is what it is. But
I like that T'Pau doesn't have a bowl cut like the rest of the Vulcans. In fact, none of the
Sam's
Sirenites
Club-
have bowl cuts. That's how you can tell them
To
apart.
be honest, I like the Serenite haircuts. I like real haircuts.
at Sam's Club, they get stuff down out of the shelving. They just close that aisle, and the forklift comes, they pull it down, and the forklift leaves, and they open the aisle. Like, what's the big deal?
If you, wait, I'm thinking about now what T'Pau said. What are you planning to do when you got here? What were they planning to do? Because they know that the Sirenites are a group, and what they think is a terrorist group, and they just walked in with 2 people and no weapons. They think this group just murdered dozens of humans. Archer must be he must be aware that he has plot armor.
He's too aware.
If he was right about T'Pau, he would be dead.
I mean, he's literally
Like,
seen the future. He knows he's going to live.
Has he? Oh, yeah. Well, I get, yeah, he's banking on Daniel saving him if he gets in trouble.
Don't you remember the desert episode? Like, he knows. He's
This
got
is
that
the
chest
desert
hair. It'll
episode.
protect him. No, the other desert episode. The one where they ate the essence of the male.
Ah,
Oh, Desert Crossing.
with
Yes,
Clancy
Desert
Brown.
Crossing. With
Yeah.
Clancy Brown.
but it loves Clancy. There's also
If
the
you're gonna
desert
have a
episode where
party-
they have to do Mulan. That's a good one. They have to train the villagers.
Oh, you mean not Mulan. You mean Army of Darkness.
Well, I'm more referring to the part in Mulan where they,
You mean Marauders?
yeah, Marauder, where big strong man is training the soldiers on how to fight. That part of Mulan.
Yeah, but in Army of Darkness, there's a scene where Ash is teaching all the villagers how to fight, and they're doing like the thing with the spears.
It comes up a lot. It's a common trope. They did the Seven Samurai. They did Mulan. They did Army of Darkness. They did Mandalorian.
Right. Was it in Seven Samurai?
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, I've never seen it, but I've seen it commonly referred to as the same thing.
Yes. There's a little bit of subtext about class systems, but overall, same story.
I forget. Do Vulcans and TOS have bowl cuts too?
Spock does.
I'm wondering if most Vulcans adopt the Cyrenite haircut, which is just let it grow for a while.
I know in Voy, TNG, Spock, and a lot of the Vulcan males, including his pops, had the bowl cut.
Yeah, he still has it in Voyager. Tuvok has one.
And the background extra who was laughing hysterically.
Who's glitching? Watch the Discord.
You are, Ryan.
active
You're
audio.
glitching.
You're glitching. Your face is glitching.
That's awkward.
Those are some nice styrofoam pillars they've got.
Mm.
It's probably like a
quality
spray
fake
insulation. They sprayed onto a thing.
They're spray painted for sure. So yeah, for those of you who forgot, T'Pol's mom was in the academy. She was a teacher or professor or something. And T'Pol was blackmailed into marrying a dude just so that this lady would keep her job. And now she left her job. So T'Pol got married for nothing. Forced into marriage for nothing. Thanks, Mom.
Happy Mother's Day, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe in
T'Pol
your
didn't
country.
even bring
Yeah.
her flowers.
Her last Mother's Day. Bum, bum, bum.
There we go. Her mother directly acknowledges.
Is my microphone working now?
Mr. Crayola, it sounds like you're like digging in a little sandbox in front of your mic. What's up with that?
I'm eating Maltesers.
Yeah.
We call those
Whoppers?
whoppers.
Yeah.
I brought enough to share with the class. Here you go, guys.
Do they come in a milk carton? Ours come in a big milk carton. Well, not big, but you know.
What? A milk carton?
Yeah, it looks
Is my
exactly
microphone
like...
working now?
Yeah, it just
The
looks like a
cartons,
milk
yeah.
carton. Yeah.
No, ours come in little packets.
Yeah, like an
Like-
M&M box.
What?
Ours.
Oh, It's the ghost.
Come in a little milk.
No, ours come. Oh, yeah. No, ours come like in a plastic packet.
Well, yeah, you can get them in like a bag, but like the traditional one, like the you weren't a cool kid unless you had it in the milk carton.
Like a cardboard box that like rips open in the middle.
I'm sending you a picture.
What is
That
this?
nuke feels a little close. I think we should leave.
What's that
carton
urban
of
legend
Whoppers.
about? What's that urban legend about putting your thumb up and if you can cover the mushroom cloud, you're safe?
That
Yeah, I
is
don't think that's
actually
gonna work here.
horrifying, Robo.
I think that's a lot bigger than their thumb.
Yeah, if you can cover the mushroom cloud with your thumb, you're at a safe distance.
If you can cover the
I
mushroom
know-
cloud with your thumb, you should still leave. If you can
I-
see the
I have
mushroom cloud,
com-
you should leave.
Well, you're not fast enough to get away. I have, unless you have like a supersonic jet. I have conveniently bought a house within the blast radius of Ground Zero, so at the onside of World War III, I'll just not have anything to worry about
You
anymore.
say that like you know where Ground Zero is going to be, where the first nuke is detonated.
I'm right near one of our like massive factories for the defense industry for tanks, so you know.
No, I've lived my entire life.
Probably
in-
on the first strike list.
I mean, here's the thing. You're using a nuke already. Essex really don't apply anymore. You're going to hit the most populated or industrialized areas.
You're going to hit your places critical to defense infrastructure. So like, I've lived within walking distance of Ground Zero in the UK my entire life because that's the UK. But yeah, where in like the home counties, you've got AWE, two of the largest barracks.
The real question is,
Yeah.
in World War III, is it better to live at Ground Zero so you die immediately, or to live further away so you die from the eventual fallout?
Radioactive or political?
I was thinking radioactive, but I guess both.
Call me crazy, but I don't want to do it. Just on
Oh, I like that mural on the back. That's a good mural.
ooh.
Is that? Oh, what's the name? It's Mount something.
Sinai?
Saleya. I don't know why Mount Saleya is important, but it is. I assume that's it. What I don't understand is why their tactical display screen is an egg.
Yeah, it's weird to have it curvy.
Everything's curvy in here. All the tables are curvy. The displays are curvy. Even the walls are curvy.
The Vulcans are really into non-Euclidean geometry.
Their hair
Mhm.
is curvy.
You'd think that they would understand that like circular rooms are terrible and not logical at all.
Well, I mean, they're pretty easy to warm up. I mean, that's why igloos are circles.
Yeah, but in terms
live
of
in a desert.
usable space,
Wait, why would I?
so
Oh, and here we come down to Vulcans have souls that can apparently be transferred into humans.
Yes.
I mean, if telepathy is a thing, then this isn't too much
I
of a
wanna-
stretch.
No.
This- that-
If telepathy is a thing, that does not necessitate the existence of the soul.
no, yeah, it doesn't.
I mean,
Like,
I know it sounds kind of weird, but how do we know that weird box isn't just really advanced ancient Vulcan tech?
now that is a
Yeah.
good point.
Wait, what box?
That weird container that contained his Katra or whatever. How do we literally know that the soul that he's experiencing aren't just like nanites that transfer from person to person?
Guess we
well,
don't.
I think it's like basically a backup copy.
That is a very
a-
similar
it's a-
motion that T'Pau is doing for the mind meld that you do for Borg assimilation, at least in the newer series.
It's
Yeah.
a Sarek.iso.
I mean, it's the same reason why I would refuse to step into a transporter.
Yeah, you die. Even if you perceive like your consciousness through the entire process, there's an infinitesimally small moment where you no longer exist and a complete duplicate is created.
That's the Katra.
Man, that's a good ship.
I
It's
don't
the
like the
best
blue.
ship, but I was looking at it, and I noticed that the top of the ship is facing the planet, which feels odd. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't make a difference. It's correct either way.
I mean, you could literally be flying upside down, and it literally doesn't matter.
They are flying upside down.
I mean, are they though? Or are they not?
Because
I
I
don't
saw it
know.
as more of like a post, like a takeoff tilt up. You know what I mean?
It's the only reason you think it's the wrong way up is because you think of we are stood on the
He loves
planet,
Savannah.
therefore when we go into space we go the same way. So it feels like they're upside down right now.
This is why
Like
the
if your
cicada
head
are just better at
if your head was
navigation than-
towards the planet and gravity was away from the planet, you'd feel upside down, yeah. But for them in space it doesn't matter.
excluding the Zindi and those weird fish people from what?
The
Manhunt?
weird fish people. Oh, those weird fish people, the assassins.
Yes. Have we
TNG.
actually seen any
That's some
aquatic
rich-
species since then?
Aquatic
Zinnia-
species.
We've seen one extremely important aquatic species in lower decks: dolphins. Is that, were they
Belugas.
dolphins or were they like tiny beluga whales?
I
They had melon, so I think they were beluga.
well, at any rate, I think that they were trying to get him into the water for weird things.
God.
Mm.
Dolphins are
They're
neutral
like, come
evil.
on.
I mean, is it dolphins?
Yes.
In real life, dolphins are very rapey.
Yeah.
They're a bad species.
I
They
don't know
get
if you
high
knew
off of
this.
pufferfish. They
Dolphins are very rapey.
God. You know, I would understand a lot about Mermaid Lord if they literally just said the other half of the dolphin, and then all their maliciousness makes so much more sense. And this is where Archer goes off the deep end.
What it? He just wants to talk to the ghost. What's wrong with that?
I mean, excluding the fact that this is hypothetically even if it is his ghost, losing your personal sense of time is usually no bueno.
Commander Tucker, in command of the Enterprise. Sorry, just Enterprise, not the Enterprise.
There's one really interesting thing that I kind of love about this series is that it kind of invalidates the series finale of TOS.
What happened in the series finale of TOS? I don't remember.
Kirk's girlfriend who couldn't become a captain switches bodies with him.
Oh.
And then her whole thing is like, no, women are legally not allowed to become captains. And then like Hernandez shows up in the original in Enterprise and like, or you're just fucking
Yeah,
insane.
we retconned a lot of TNG and or not
TOS.
TNG, TOS, and you know, the fact that women exist. Like Captain Pike is now perfectly used to having a woman on the bridge. That's fine now. Was not happy about that in the cage.
No, he was not. Did
Now over
anyone
half his
see-
bridge crew is women.
Yeah. Ortega, Ahura, number 1, the augment freak of nature.
Meant freak of nature. Don't have to be rude about it. They're just... They are who they are.
Did anyone become really suspicious when she brought up that story.
Are we talking about La'an?
Yeah.
I don't think La'an's gonna like go against the crew. I think she's legit.
No. I mean, like, how she survived might actually be incorrect.
Oh, maybe.
Like, based on what happened to her family, I think she either mercy killed them or she knew about that tradition in advance and increased her odds.
See, he even calls it a ghost. It is a ghost. At least as far as he knows.
It doesn't make it better.
It's a ghost. Look, this isn't even the first ghost we've had in Star Trek. We love ghosts in Star Trek.
Jack the
Did I light
Ripper.
that candle?
This isn't even the first person who's been possessed by a ghost.
Did I light that candle?
Oh wait,
I'll not be responsible for what happens.
Observer Effect is next week.
Yeah, Howard,
Oh, the
women are
one where
always
they
so
revive
stubborn.
the corpses of Hoshi and
Trip.
Trip? Yeah, Trip.
Not gonna lie, they look horrible, and I applaud the actors for looking like they're actually dead.
There was also that episode where Trip and several other members of the crew got possessed by ghosts while alive. That was in season 1.
I've never eaten bread before. Who are you? What have you done to this southern man?
God, there's a lot of ghosts.
Does Day of the Dove count as a ghost?
Day of the Dove? I think that's a TOS. If it's a TOS thing, I have basically no idea about it. I barely remember TOS. Alien crew drives the crew of the Enterprise in a brutal conflict with the Klingons. There's a sword duel. There's Kang. I'll just say yes. Yes, that definitely counts. Okay, so Travis is bringing a Mako. I still, if they were really going after the Seer-Knights, like they really thought the Seer-Knights had bombed the embassy, they should have brought more Makos than just, 0 that Archer went with. Feels like
I
a
can
bad idea
understand.
to go after a terrorist group with the captain and the science officer as the only team.
Like, I can understand maybe sending yourself in initially for like trying to talk them down, but like have like 12 of those guys in your back pocket. When I first saw this, I thought it was an execution.
Does look like it. In fact, he's kneeling down at the perfect height that if they had like a horizontal guillotine, it would just go right through the neck.
There's even a sword right behind him.
I wonder if this has a translation or if they just like made up stuff. In fact, I'm going to look that up. What is T'Pau saying in Enterprise? I think this is the part where he's all radiation burned.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Though it feels like this is being caused by T'Pau's hurting him because he
Mhm.
doesn't want to go.
I can see that. I feel like if they made him look more like Pike in the beach chair, then it would look more like radiation burns.
Is the fallout coming down?
Yeah, looks it.
What happens to the Vulcans is basically exactly what happens to Earth. We have World War III and people nuke each other, and they're like, yeah, this is stupid. Let's be friends.
Oh.
And they
No wonder
improve.
they like us so much.
It's what Saval was saying in the last episode. Like, we're basically the same species. Except you guys kept going crazy. You need to chill.
They're telling us not to
Get some
slap two
logic.
warp cores together.
The sun exploded, but it exploded twice as fast.
Patra doesn't want to leave Captain Archer because he's so
Speak up,
cool.
man.
The Katra riches to remain. The Katra
Please refer to it as
remained
its proper
behind.
title, the Ghost.
I kind of wish they
Alright, who
did
did he
more with
bring?
Travis.
He brought Travis, Reed, and a red
Mako.
shirt. Okay. It's not one of the named Makos, and they didn't give him a name prior to this scene, so I think he'll be fine.
I mean, Kyle didn't die after they gave him a name.
Who's Kyle? Oh, the dude in the cage?
Yep.
He should have died. I don't know how he survived that. They were signposting so hard that he was going to die. Oh, dang, the shuttle has deployable wings. When did that happen?
Spheric navigation.
It's all aerodynamic now, as much as you can be with that design.
I mean, they don't have extra future tech to compensate for stuff. Like, say what you want about the costumes, but like, I love the jumpsuit look.
It sounds like you're implying people say bad things about the costumes. Costumes are great. They got pockets. They can hold stuff instead of Velcroing the phaser to their hip.
I know in Skin of Evil, Jordy actually drops his phaser into the tar pit. Because, you know, no pockets.
You can't do that. I don't know his name. Leighton.
Man, this guy just has a penchant for playing dicks.
He's so good at it, though. His name's Robert Foxworth?
What's he doing nowadays?
Apparently he acted in Transformers Dark of the Moon.
Did he play in that
Transformers
movie?
Age of Extinction, Transformers The Ride 3D, Transformers Dark of the Moon, Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Autobots.
What's his role?
Transformers.
Was he a voice?
Ratchet voice.
Ratchet's voice. Oh man.
There's a lot of Transformers. He was also a judge in Boston Legal. He was a senator in the West Wing. Archer's probably got some brain damage. You go unconscious from trauma. It's just, you need a doctor.
That's called a concussion.
Yeah. No,
But he
he'll
didn't-
walk it off. He's fine.
Wait, no, that's actually a seizure. If he lost consciousness without an actual physical head trauma.
So they've been like 20 feet away from the Kir'Shara the whole time? Is that what we're meant to understand?
Well,
Telescopes?
Yeah, why not telescopes?
I thought you said technology doesn't work, and telescopes are technology.
That's right. Oh, they broke their own continuity. Disgusting.
I also saw them using knives and spears.
Yeah, but they
which,
didn't actually
if
hit
you didn't
anyone
know-
with the knives, so therefore we don't know if the knives would have worked.
this is like the Edo for shoeing technology, but they have irrigation.
Aren't the Edo the Gene Roddenberry planet?
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought that was a species from Insurrection.
I think the Edo are the
Baku.
people in the jumpsuits who, like, get all weird with Wesley.
Oh, right.
Yes, yeah, they're the ones that were, tried to put him to death or falling into the flower
what are they
bed.
called? The Batu or something?
The Batu and the
Kona.
they're
they're the same species.
I think Batu is a Star Wars thing. Eventually we'll workshop
Baku.
the name of a species. The important part is they were Swedish.
So, weird question, and I'm probably jumping ahead here, but did they ever reconcile how Romulans went from smooth to weird V foreheads to smooth again?
They said that the ridged forehead are from the north.
Northerners.
Like they both exist
So, yes.
simultaneously, and they're just different regions.
That is explained in one throwaway line in Star Trek Picard Season 1.
Yeah, if you consider Picard canon.
Which it officially is, so yes.
Well, that's up to every individual to decide for themselves if that's canon to them.
Is that the one where, like, Picard actually has literal refugees working on his vineyard?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
That is terrible optics.
But I mean, they like him,
What?
though.
Look, he saved them from their dying world. He gave them a place to live where they're safe, and all he asks for in return is their labor from now until the day they die.
I don't get the impression that, like, his actual vineyard workers are laborers, just like his personal assistants.
Yeah, they're
I don't know if
personally
that's
assisting
better,
him to,
but I'm just
to
saying
collect
all
all
his
those
workers
grapes
aren't
and make
Romulan.
wine.
Which, remind me, how come wine still exists to be, well, I mean, that could be artisanal, but, like, I don't understand Star Trek's economy.
Nobody understands Star Trek's economy.
Star Trek doesn't understand Star Trek's economy.
Yeah, Star Trek never really. So we were discussing this in philosophy, and I was like, so it doesn't really work. Like they never really explain it. They just kind of hand wave over it. Oh, it's fine, it's great. But like, how would you obtain real estate in Star Trek? How would you obtain?
It has
How
to
would
be
you buy
apportioned by the
land?
state.
Well, but where did they get it from? So, like, they're either taking it from someone who owned it ancestrally, or you're getting it from ancestral claims, and then how do you, like, whose ancestral claim takes precedence?
I don't feel
like,
comfortable with
is it-
Archer having the fire that close to the guy. It looks very dry.
Yeah, no, this. Oh man, I'm just half expecting him to accidentally light it on fire. Ah, shit! There goes 10,000 years of history.
It's fine. He's about to be disintegrated by antimatter warheads anyway. How bad
They
could
go
it be?
down there every once in a while with a little Mr. Spray bottle, and they spray down all the mummies to keep them nice and moist.
How did they not find this? There were like 2 hallways in the compound, and this was one of them.
I mean, they could be doing a nuclear priesthood thing where, like, they explicitly tell each other, "Don't go down that hallway." Hell, it even looks like a missile silo.
Very pointy Kir'Shara. Hasn't tipped over in tens of thousands of years.
Despite geological changes, possible seismic activity.
What I don't understand, and this isn't just a Star Trek thing, a lot of super advanced, like, precursor races, or in this case, really advanced ancient Vulcans, who have holograms and stuff, why do they always build stuff out of stone?
Because it doesn't
Is it-
rust.
Stone is obviously a highly hologram compatible material.
Look at
Like,
all
if
the
you play
structures
Halo
that have
2, all the
survived on
Forerunner
Earth.
structures are made of rock.
Look at all the structures on Earth that have survived thousands of years. They're all made out of stone.
But they weren't made by people who had access to, like, steel.
Yeah, the pyramids were made by aliens.
Yeah, but Ryan, my point is, we still make stuff out of stone, and 2,000 years from now, what's going to survive? The structures we made out of steel, or the structures we made out of stone? My point is, they made stuff out of steel, but it all decayed.
Of
You
course,
say so.
wasn't this a period of time where Vulcans were polytheistic?
Do we... I don't... Do the
Pretty sure
Vulcans
they're
have religion?
atheistic now.
So maybe like this has more of a religious connotation, and you want to make it look pretty.
Hello, hello, hello.
Oh, it's you.
Yes, I've been busy. It's easy to do a three-parter though.
It is. It's the best three-parter.
Hey, Captain, is that actually your dog?
Yep.
Adorable.
Yeah, he is.
How old is he?
4 years old now.
Oh,
I know, right?
yeah.
Jay, is that actually you in the picture? Are you a Cardassian?
No, I play one in Star Trek Adventures, and I preemptively change my icons for games that are on Tuesdays.
Right.
Usually most of my icons are just shitposts.
Paul, it's okay.
Mother's
This means you can
Day.
get a divorce now.
I don't understand, why is the Vulcan
instant
acting
she
so
found
emotional?
out her
This
mum
is
was-
totally not canon.
The instant she found out her mum had lost her job, she should have been like, oh, cool, divorce time.
Hi, Floss. Nice knowing you.
By the way, I
Yeah,
have to
it
tell
does
you
free
about
up
your
the pool.
father.
Yeah.
He had a weird forehead.
But it's interesting that they kill her off, considering that with the Reformation, they could probably have just excused it anyway. Just had her come back, and it wouldn't have made a difference to Paul could still divorce.
It's fine. T'Pol's mother has to die not for T'Pol's mother's story. She's just here to motivate T'Pol herself. Propelling T'Pol to become a Serenite.
Affected her in the account.
What was the conflict they had again?
What's the what?
What combat did the Enterprise get
Oh, yeah.
into?
Oh, yeah, because they have emotions, they just control them. It's something we always bad at.
Oh wait, Vloss is the angry admiral. Wait, who's her husband? Koss.
T'Pol's mom?
Koss is her husband.
But, like, there's other things. that
Not
people
Vloss,
know.
Koss.
The information they don't. No.
Of course, the intelligence is that.
My god, the Andorians have WMDs.
I
I
think
thought that was the Zindi that had a WMD.
doesn't
wait,
every
The Andorians got it.
Wait, doesn't every species by technicality have a WMD if you just use a warp core incorrectly?
It's like the
Sure.
warp
Yeah,
scale.
I
They
mean,
keep
if you-
adjusting what qualifies as a WMD.
All right. Hey, that works. Hopefully, NVIDIA brought us to filter out everything now.
Okay.
I mean, we've as a society already, humanity have reclassified WMDs several times. So yeah,
There we
I
are.
mean,
On to the third episode soon.
All right. Well, that's the
There's
end of
no-
that episode. The next and
Having
final
some-
episode for the day is Kir'Shara. Everyone queue up 1 minute to that. We get some nice shots of Tucker in command of the Enterprise. Just Enterprise, actually, not the Enterprise.
Yes.
He gets to yell at some Vulcans. Archer gets to yell at some Vulcans. T'Pau gets to get a bunch of paperwork. She has to be a politician now, so then not ideal.
oh no.
And we get more lies about whether Vulcans can lie. So that's fun.
We know they can lie.
Vulcans can't lie.
Physically incapable of it.
That's
Yes, and having some tomato pasta and chicken goujons.
Wait, does that
Press
mean
play
that
in 5,
Spock can beat a
4,
lie detector
hold that,
test?
3, 2, 1, play. Continue. Does that mean that what?
During
if he
a
could-
court martial, Spock literally put his hand on a lie detector test and said, Vulcans cannot lie.
but if he can control his emotions well enough, he can beat the lie detector.
Oh, yeah. That just makes them the best liars.
Hmm.
I find it interesting that Surrock himself talks about the Kir'Shara like it's a religious artifact, but it's just his book.
And Vulcans here just being extremely aggressive and egotistical.
My God,
Find
he's like
my
a-
autobiography.
He's like a college professor who's pushing his book in the class.
Yes.
This is the only
To
source
his
of
credit, he
information
has
that you
not
should ever
released
be
a
using.
revised version to buy for the last 20,000 years.
Which makes him better than my English professor.
Why are they moving around so much? What are they doing? They're just going in circles.
Yeah, it could be lining up, but yeah, it is odd. Considering how size they...
I don't remember. Is the guy in the center a Romulan or just in League?
He's just working with them, I think. But
'Cause
then
he's
how
just-
would we tell? They look the same.
Forehead.
Maybe he's not from the north. Maybe he's a southerner Romulan.
The concept of a Southern Romulan. Louisiana drawl. In a fist fight with Tucker about who has the best barbecue.
He would have something in common with Trip. It'd be lovely.
Of course, we know that this is obviously lies because we know that the prototype was destroyed, but yes.
They did take very thorough scans of it, though. They could probably replicate it.
Yeah, they could, but the idea that they have the weapon itself is...
It's established that the
You're
Andorians
calling the
are,
humans a liar as well as the Andorians.
And sorry, not that. It's established that the Zindi were at a sort of Earth level of tech, wasn't it? So it seems logical that anyone else in the galaxy could like replicate this.
Though
But Space Civil
there was
is
at least
being a
one
better
component
Vulcan.
that was actually given to them from the future.
Like physically.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, there was a component that had like a negative age.
And then everyone's like,
Yeah.
wait, I thought you said they could only communicate. And then they just hand wave it away as like, I don't know how they got it there, but they did.
Like if it said something along the lines like it would unspool your proteins. Like we can give you a bomb, but we can't like give you a planet-sized bomb. I hate how we have to do most of the legwork when it comes to ideology and thinking in this.
I mean, it's just a sci-fi TV show.
Yeah, this isn't like The Expanse.
Oh
The
man, don't get me
Expanse is-
started on The Expanse.
This one is funny. Like, it is all ideological, but no one is in the right, really.
So is this actually Planet Hell, or are they shooting on a location?
Well, these walls are definitely fake, so it has to be a set. I don't know which set exactly. Maybe Planet Hell.
Well, this is psychology, which is entirely subjective. Actually, no, it's not even psychology, it's the other one, which is even more subjective.
Ugh, Admiral Gardner. Who cares about Admiral Gardner? The subpar replacement for Admiral Forrest. Wait, I don't even know what Admiral Gardner looks like. Who's Admiral Gardner? Do we ever see him?
Well, Gardner.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, I just looked it up. We see him in the Mirror Universe. One time. He has one scene. And he gets murdered. Apparently, Admiral Gardner was named for one of the writer's friends who died in 9/11.
Makes sense, given the entire last season.
Who could it be? Talus. Oh.
Didn't he get demoted? No, he's just like runs a garbage scow.
No? What?
How do you get demoted?
Carles runs a garbage canal. Yeah.
He certainly got reprimanded.
Are we talking about Talus or are we talking about Shran?
Shran.
No, Shran's
How do you
good.
get demoted for not delivering the weapon?
No, he's still in charge of the Kumari, is it?
Well, the Kamari got murdered. The Kamari's gone.
Ah.
Got exploded.
different
Wait,
too.
no, that hasn't happened yet. Never mind. No, yeah, he has the Kamari. The
No,
Kamari's
wasn't.
going to be exploded by the Romulans.
Yeah. We see it in this episode. It's the reason I was talking about it.
From the ghost.
The man in my head.
How does Sirach know this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is exactly the question.
There we go.
They're just gonna... How would Siren be aware of this? I think he's lost his mind.
It'll be some shifting, moving over time.
I'm gonna look at the design of Arthur's backpack, but it keeps going
This
in and
goes
out
back
of
to
light.
my common point of it is physically impossible to, if someone thinks you're delusional, to prove that you're not delusional.
Did you notice that last cut? They had walked down to the end of the hallway, then they cut back to the beginning of the hallway to continue the conversation. They got to the end of the
Let's get this
set.
over to a walk and talk.
Jesus.
Handy material. They ever
But
considered
hang on,
building
Archer should
like
already be aware of that. Like the way how he knew the way in. Knew about the hologram.
have they ever considered using those deposits as like a security
So told the
system
Vulcans
around places like the Terran embassy to prevent
They
people
do-
ever getting bombs in?
People do mention sometimes like, oh, this ship's hull is made of a sensor-reflective material. Maybe that's related?
Hmm.
It's impervious to our subspace scans.
Now, here's someone who is actually delusional.
He's not delusional, he's just scheming and lying to people.
No, I think he truly
He's
believes
just
that the Kir'Shara
evil.
isn't real. He's telling himself that to try and make what he's doing right.
The way that desk is painted makes it look like it's a children's desk. It's made of plastic. Just a nice bright orange. Yes! Jeffrey! He's almost here. This is more of a UDP connection than a TCP. Just send the information out, hope someone gets it. Have some faith, Trip. Sval knows what he's on about. Come on, Jeff. I know you're in there. There he is. There's Jeff.
Kumari and 2 other ships. It's interesting to see Kumari as a species in Final Fantasy X.
He's still not over the fact they robbed us of Season 5 series regular Commander Shran.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what does that say on the map? Vulcanian space. Not Vulcan space, Vulcanian. Interesting. Is that a term used in TOS and that's why they did that? I need to search the scripts. When do they say Vulcanian?
It's a TOS episode, isn't it?
Yeah, Jeff, he knows. That's why he's here.
Who's Jeff and who knows what?
Apparently in TOS they say Vulcanian 8 times.
Interesting. Laziness of writers.
3 times
Which,
by
I mean,
Spock.
I mean, fits with human laziness. Because, after all, half of America is named after the rest of the world.
What?
A large amount of things in America are named after other places in the world.
You don't
And
like
a lot of things are
New
named
York?
after just the word.
God, we should have just called it York 2.
New York used to once be New Amsterdam.
Yeah. And there's a lot of things which
I know that from They Might Be
general.
Giants song. Even old New York was once New Amsterdam.
I think it
Why
was
did
pretty
they
creative
change it? I
naming
can't
it West
say.
Virginia
People
when
just
it's
liked
to
it
the
better
north
that
of regular
way.
Virginia. How come it's not South Virginia? It's just Virginia.
Because it's the original Virginia, and then they split off the north part.
It's curious that T'Pol just has different colors of exactly the same uniform.
This is the same one. She always wears this to the desert. This is the one she took to Marauders.
I know.
One desert outfit.
I suppose the white does somewhat fit in the desert.
But it's just going to get all dusty
at the same
and
time,
gross.
yeah, at the same time, it just gets to the dust and reveals the dust very well.
I think they also colored T'Pol's hair a little bit or put dust in it or something. It looks lighter, like it's dusty.
Yeah. I don't think I'm ready for that. I've had a bad experience with that in the past. Thank you very much. I don't want to go through it again.
Going back to that plot. When was that? Season 2?
I think so.
They are somewhat undoing the metaphor that Pinar syndrome was. Pinar syndrome was an HIV thing. But you can't... You don't cure HIV by doing things correctly the second time. That's not how that works.
Oh, it might allude to saying use protection instead, I suppose.
Maybe.
Turns out HIV was just caused by people having sex the wrong way. And you can totally reverse
I think that
it by
might
doing
actually be
sex
part
the
of
right
what people
way.
thought during the epidemic.
Yeah. So basically putting
Well,
it up in the fudge
if you
funnel.
define
That is what people basically thought.
depends how you define the right way and the wrong way, I suppose.
Well, what matters is how they defined the wrong way. That was the crux of the issue.
I forgot about this.
Is this is this where they torture him?
Yeah, not physically, but in
Like
his
unnecessarily
emotions.
torture him because he's been telling the truth the whole time?
But they have to
Yeah.
confirm it.
They want to be sure.
And somehow he appears oriented perfectly in the chair.
Well, I mean, look, you want to argue about that? When they just
It
transported every
deconstructed his
single
molecules.
molecule
They
of
can
his
color
body,
move 'em.
like...
Didn't in
It's
the gem they didn't even have a transporter?
I don't...
The,
Yeah, they didn't.
Shared that T'Pol was tortured in a little while back.
if they can disassemble you and reassemble you atom by atom, they can put you in a chair facing the right direction, I'm sure.
I'm
That's
surprised,
easy
like,
mode.
there isn't like a culture or species that intentionally makes your transporter accident as like a punishment.
Transporter accident as a punishment?
torture is never a means of extracting information, though. The categorically
It is
doesn't
ultimately
work.
self-defeating as a means of control. One wonders that it is still practiced.
Yes.
Yes, but like 9 times out of 10, it actually provides information in Star Trek.
So in other words, Star Trek encourages torture as a means of interrogation.
Thanks, Gene.
Listen, everybody. Inside you, there are 2 wolves. Sorry
One
about the
is
transporter
gay,
accident.
the other one is gay.
No, you didn't hear my punchline.
Good one.
Oh, sorry.
Inside of you, there are 2 wolves. Sorry about the transporter accident.
That one's pretty good.
But seriously, like there has to be like some time where like we're going to transport you, but we aren't going to include any calcium in your body. As like a penal thing, like a death sentence that is
Do that.
terrifying for the witnesses.
Maybe.
Oh,
I
they're
only
being given
remember
into
that as a
space
fake out when
sometimes.
Archer was lying about it being a death sentence. I don't remember any species doing that, but they definitely could.
I mean,
There was this
it's never been it's established that the transporter buffer seems to retain you forever. So, like, if you can't get rid of someone.
Just turn off the
like,
lights in the bridge.
Oh
They
wait,
do
no, maybe
sometimes.
you can.
Like one time, they beam someone into space, so that was good.
You could beam someone. I'm thinking, could you dematerialize someone and then just like delete them
Of
from the
course,
buffer?
any actual nebula,
Oh.
at least ones that we've detected,
Yeah,
are
you could
nowhere
just-
close to.
You could disassemble them, and you could just beam it out into space, dispersed, like 1 particle
Yes.
per cubic meter.
Yeah.
Like,
But
what if you just reassemble
you-
people into like base components? Like, yeah, this is 3 pounds of carbon, a vial of nitrogen.
Just
Mm.
recycle them into boots.
I
You
literally
honestly
made a
could.
video
In-
about this
in-
where I argued that yes,
Yeah.
Starfleet should recycle. I didn't say people, but corpses. They just shoot them out
Yeah,
into
well,
space.
yeah,
They're
if
they
wasting so
weren't-
much
yeah,
material.
Could
Just
you use
shove 'em in
the
the replicator.
If they weren't a
to
if they weren't a corpse when we
dematerialize
started,
someone?
Ryan, they'll be a corpse when we're finished.
Well, no, there won't be any corpse when we finish.
Okay, call me crazy, but couldn't shooting corpses into space hypothetically violate the Prime Directive?
Yes.
No. How would it violate the Prime
It
Directive?
would violate the Prime
Another
Directive because
species is
we
in
know
space,
that a
then-
body shot into space can survive the descent to a planet's surface. That's canon in the 3rd movie.
So imagine the Apollo missions, right? And they accidentally come across an alien like coffin.
That's why most of Star Trek sends them into the sun.
Wait, how do you know they didn't?
God damn it.
You know,
We should
whenever
probably. I think Starfleet stopped shooting people into space after that incident with the Kabali, where they started resurrecting dead crew members because they felt weird about it.
you know, whenever I come across someone who's like a moon landing conspiracy theorist,
How often does this
I
happen?
just take it one. I just take it one further, and I go, "You believe in the moon?"
Actually, mine is, you think the Russians would let us live it down if we faked it?
Yeah, my
Yeah,
my
the
go-to
most
answer
damning
is
evidence
always,
against it
even-
being fake
even the
is that the
Russians
Russians have
agree
not
they have-
once claimed that it was fake.
Yeah, the Russians don't believe it was faked. It's definitely real. I met a flat earther. I literally turned to them and went, "So is the moon flat as well?" And
That's
they didn't have an answer.
What's going on?
So what was their
Flat earthers will
ideology?
say that the other planets are round because we can observe them.
But we haven't observed the other side of the moon, except
we
by
have.
leaving the Earth.
So what's their primary basis for flat Earth theory? Is it theological or some sort of climate change denial?
And this was a theological.
Yes, at least sometimes it's religious.
Yeah.
The Bible and the firmament and all that jazz.
Yeah,
But some of
Bible's
them getting
good.
some really weird, like climate change denial, religious, deep state, what New World Order, Illuminati, like super conspiracy
Oh,
theory.
yeah, about
Oh.
the nebula.
The Andorians, they
Of
also
course.
Velcro their phaser holsters to the side.
Maybe we
So
stole their
sure,
costume
yeah.
design.
But if the Andorians, how did the Andorians
Of course,
invent
the
Velcro?
nebula in real life, we know this because we've detected numerous nebulas and we now understand how nebulas work. It's different to the asteroid field because that is a different case. Anyway, nebulas are so not anywhere close to dense enough to hide a ship. It's basically normal space.
Is it weird that I kind of adore how they can get their antennae to go flippity flop?
Nice RC controlled antenna. They're great.
I don't even think it was
Except that
RC. It
I
was
just
probably
said
just wires that they were pulling.
Radio
with
controlled
a
control.
grip. I bet you they just had a grip like off camera.
Because I know there's a scene where Shran has to duck under a pipe and his antennae just go short forward.
The antennae had small motors with wires that ran down his back to a belt that had a receiver on it. A puppeteer
Oh,
used a joystick
nice.
to send movement commands to the receiver. Nice.
Oh, like an Xbox controller with a right and a left.
Yeah. Dual thumbstick controls.
And once again, the human is going to outfight Vulcans, even though Vulcans are canonically stronger.
Don't worry about that.
Is it weird that I just want to see like a Vulcan just absolutely like tear shit apart?
I want to see the wrestling match between Cisco and
Just
the
knocks
angry
the ground
Vulcan man.
unceremoniously.
There's an episode of Voyager where Tuvok goes all ham. The elevator episode, I think.
Oh, there's also that bit in Star Trek
Vulcans are afraid
2009
of
where
fire.
Kirk deliberately makes Spock really angry and Spock just beats him down.
Yeah.
Into
That's
Darkness,
hilarious
doesn't
to
he go
happen.
toe to toe with Khan?
Yes.
He does.
Spock
Kirk goes toe-to-toe with... Oh, yeah, no, Spock does fight Khan at the end. Yeah. They seem about equal.
But that's more canonically correct.
Also, gotta say, I love these spade weapons.
Yeah.
And none of them have phasers.
Well, there's actually
Well,
a
this is
reason
the
for that.
Forge.
Well, yeah, we know why they have no phasers.
I just mean the Vulcans as well attacking.
Yeah, because it's the Forge.
Yeah.
Phasers don't work. Technology doesn't work.
Oh, look,
I
constant
agree.
components.
What components?
I'm making a joke about console rocks.
Ah.
So, does Archer still have the Katra in control, pretty much?
Yeah, it's not going to be removed until the very end. He's still half ghost.
Hmm.
That's a good point, actually, to Paul. Can they read ancient Vulcan? How much has the language changed? How long has it been? Like, just English has changed a huge amount in 1,000 years.
And then
It's a
if
different
you
language.
bring in the concept of the atomic priesthood, where they're literally drawing pictograms explaining don't come near this radioactive site. Yeah. Oh, it's an old college buddy.
Yeah. Before T'Pol literally got into drugs.
Yeah, they used T'Pol for lots of allegories.
T'Pol is the Chief O'Brien of Enterprise.
All must suffer.
How much does she gets assaulted, she gets addicted to drugs, her baby dies, she's abducted. T'Pol has a rough time.
And then her boyfriend dies in, to me, the non-canonical final episode.
Maybe dies.
We're all in agreement that that's just a holodeck fantasy program.
Yeah.
Yes.
It works as the idea of writers just creating a holodeck and of what would happen in that of a scenario to see what he should do.
Don't be such a coward, Jeff. Gary actually gets to show emotions for the first time on this series? Wow. Yeah, the Andorians could just destroy Enterprise if they wanted to, including the fact they have a fleet here.
Yes.
Bold move for Enterprise to start shooting.
Canonically, at this point, the Andorians have the best weapons, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh. But
Their
they're in no
ships are
position to
certainly
bargain.
toe-to-toe with... Their ships are certainly toe-to-toe with the Vulcan ships.
So Enterprise is like, oh wow. So the Andorians are in no position or need to bargain at this rate.
Yeah.
There are 3 separate times, I think, where the Andorians or the Vulcans could absolutely fire on Enterprise and they'd be justified. But neither of them wants to, because Enterprise to them it's like a puppy. It's just so cute and innocent and harmless.
It's such a cute baby human
It's
spaceship.
like Enterprise is firing on us. Oh, bless their hearts. They're trying so hard.
Oh my
I mean,
god.
technically, they could take out one of the ships. In the
Has it been canonically established that humans are like the cute slash bless their heart species?
Yes.
It's my headcanon. I don't know if it's canon, but I choose to believe that yes.
Well, in the Federation, they're the leaders of it.
Yeah, they get less cute later.
Like, look at them. They're so pink and smooth. They look like a little baby.
I feel like the Tellarite should have been a different color. Every founding member of the Federation should have had a different primary color. Vulcans are green, Andorians are blue, humans are reddish pink. Tellarite should have been like purple or yellow.
I mean, they kind of have like that weird modeling of their skin.
How the hell is she doing that?
Very well.
I mean, they said
This
that she
guy's
was,
like,
I mean, they said that she was.
wait. He started shaking before the special effect. He started getting electrocuted before they actually had the electrocution.
I mean, they said she was a professor, but they never said a professor of what. So it could be either biology or performance.
Biology of performance.
T'Pau is just a theater student that started a revolution. Well, joined a revolution.
Yes.
Historically, that is actually really on brand.
So was Siren then her theater professor? Because he was the leader of the Sirenites, and he did the same thing.
T'Pau getting hot for the captain.
So the Vulcan neck pinch has nothing to do with physical strength.
Well,
No.
in TOS, they say the Vulcan death group doesn't exist. And then
Right,
it
The
there's
does.
a
Vulcan
death
Earth
grip and
pinch
there's
has
nerve
to do with
pinch.
being Vulcan.
Both of which
It
are
doesn't, though, because-
theoretically possible, but nobody in the world wants to try it.
What do you mean? People have already tried it. It doesn't do anything.
Well, there is a scientific basis for it, and it is actually a pinch that you can do on the nerves. In fact, there's several places you can pinch the nerves to knock out the brain.
Sorry, someone sent me a GIF about my engineer.
Do we have to engage the Vulcans here? Could we just like back off a bit to get closer to the Andorian fleet?
Ooh, big green screen.
Ooh, very nice green screen.
You know, it's not that bad actually.
It's not so bad that the lighting on them is quite different to what they ended up going with.
Yeah, I think it's because of the they're actually trying to match up the background color with them.
Yeah,
God, I love those ring ships.
they are beautiful. I do love
What's
the
the
Vulcan
little
ships.
pod in the middle of the ring? Is that a warp core thing, or is that like a little shuttle? Okay, here's where Enterprise gets to be a puppy. It's like, you can't shoot us.
That's like
Who
a Star
cares if
Wars
Enterprise is
chamber.
information? It's not like they can do anything.
Yeah.
Wait, we're the Black Knight from Monty Python.
The Enterprise always triumphs. There's one solution to so many of Star Trek's problems. Just leave.
Yep.
Take the fleet and just leave.
I love that reaction to Star Trek's like, oh, come on. I don't care about you. Why are you in my way?
Man, Travis was really underutilized in the series.
What do you mean? He got to use his giant arms to lift a big piece of rubble.
Like, you have well, they called him a boomer, right?
Yeah, he's a space boomer.
So wouldn't he already have like some passing knowledge about other alien species?
I don't think so, because they describe their ships as like going warp 2. They just go back and forth between human colonies. It takes forever. But then, no, they also do have
everyone
to
else
fight
in
the
the council just allows
Nausicaans.
this.
I mean, okay, call me
Maybe.
crazy, but why
crazy.
wouldn't this have been automated at that rate?
Drama.
Like, the same ships going the same route every month or so. You just punch in the coordinates and let it fly itself.
Don't know. Though going back to an earlier conversation about primary colors, all the species here have colors of weapons matching their blood.
So ours should
Vulcan
be red.
weapons are green, Andorian weapons are blue, human weapons are red.
Aren't Tellarites actually like yellow? Wait, no, that's yellow.
Tellarites are like
Oh, that's green.
human colored.
Love that. Shred. Great person.
Oh, Jeffrey.
Here we are.
Can someone explain to me why Shran became so popular?
Have you seen him? What do you mean? I don't understand the question.
No, like I'm trying to come up with like I know he is, and I adore the character. I just can't put into words.
I mean, he is pretty violent, but aside from that, he acts pretty reasonable most of the time. It's like, oh, no, you helped me. Okay, fine, we're friends now. He's a friend. He's always there to help. He just shows up to help when he has nothing to gain from it because he feels like he has to. He's a good friend. And he's not a fair weather friend. The best thing he did is he showed up to actually save humanity when the Vulcans didn't do nothing to the Xindi.
And then we see when he actually returned, there's the entire fleet.
That didn't help in the battle at all.
Yeah, where were you a couple of days ago when we actually needed you?
Yeah, so the Katra could literally just be nanites and Archer's blood that attached to his brainstem.
So he's just saying this is like a counterfeit book?
Yeah.
Is Voss's argument here?
I mean, there are fictional. I mean, there are.
He is entirely delusional.
That's illegal. He can't do that.
The Vulcans seem to constantly redefine what's legal for them.
I'll make it legal.
That's just a lady in the background turning around.
The Minister Kuvak is played by John Rubinstein. He looks familiar. He was some guy in Voyager. He was a Mazarite captain in Enterprise.
Wait, was he
no major
Petrel on Voyager?
He was John Evansville. He was in the 37s.
Ooh, Enterprise is upside down relative to the planet.
Huh, Vulcan actually has surface water.
Oh, it's divorce time.
As far as we know about carbon-based life forms, you need surface water, yeah.
And not only is it divorce time, but DePaul actually fixed her pips. I noticed on the forge, like, they were all wonky and skewed.
Yeah.
They're still wonky. Their spacing isn't right. The one in the middle is
It's a lot
higher
better
than
than
the
it
rest.
was. Because now she's
The one on
not,
the right is
like, dying in a
not
desert.
touching. They made the mistake of like using square pips and putting them edge to edge, because then you'll notice like round pips is harder to tell.
Well, maybe that's why they changed the design by TNG.
It's literally just bands on the arm in TOS.
Yeah, gold banding.
Which must be a nightmare for promotion. You have to take all your uniforms to the seamstress and get them to put in more gold banding.
Just go to the replicator and
Maybe
you're
they
like, I would
Velcro.
like some more
They
uniforms, please, with the correct.
actually, that might be the case in TOS. I think they do
It's just
replicate
ancient
in
Vulcan.
TOS, actually. At
TOS
least
actually
in-
had a quartermaster.
Yeah, they had stores. They had food stores. But
The original
I think they
1701 is weird. It had any kind of building that they required in that episode. They had a chapel.
Yeah.
They had a quartermaster. They had a recreation deck sometimes.
They had machine shops.
I think they did replicate the clothing. They just didn't replicate food at the time.
TOS is weird.
Everything was a cube.
Yep.
Okay, so now T'Pau's gonna be president or something?
That is some weird and wonky political maneuvering.
He becomes... Is this the Jaw guy?
Yep. I don't know.
The voice is not. I know the Jaw guy is a Romulan later.
Based on even his jacket.
Oh, not
So
Jaw
they
guy.
talked about reunification here, even though it's
only a matter of time.
I mean, the
Enterprise was careful with
reunification is
canon,
just going to
but
take like
it's quite
500 years.
very much a thing that by TNG they don't know that they are the same species.
Well, the Romulans know.
And the Vulcans
suppose.
know.
Because the Romulans are the one who
the-
left. So they
Yeah,
would know.
The Vulcans don't know. I suppose he could have told them, but
Vulcans knew
told
in
him
the
to do
first time we see the Romulans in the original series. Spock is like, oh yeah, we don't, I mean, I knew, but I didn't say anything.
I don't think that's accurate.
Well, yeah, it's a plot point. I know it's a plot point in TNG that the Vulcans don't know.
I specifically remember the line from TOS of Spock saying something like, if they are of my Vulcan blood as I suspect, then something.
Yeah, so it could be just suspicion up until TNG.
That was
That
after
would
they'd
fit.
seen them.
Granted, if southern Minnesota split from the rest of Minnesota, I would feel so embarrassed to admit that they were Minnesotan.
I don't know enough about Minnesota to parse this reference. What's wrong with the other side of Minnesota?
We can get pretty politically divided.
Okay.
It's like a reverse Florida. The more south you go, the more northern it gets.
I've just seen the GIF Robo posted of the alligators getting afraid of a jumping around fish.
Gator got spooked by a fish.
Yeah, there's three of them that climb over each other back into the water.
Oh, I see.
In
One of
nice
them didn't get spooked. One of them was trying to get the fish and he got pulled in. Poor alligator. Anyway, so those are the episodes of the day. We're done with Star Trek now. Next week is a 2-episode day. Next week's 2 episodes, so that the week after we have the 3-parter all together with the Romulans. So next week is Daedalus, where the show continues to lie to us about the transporter not murdering you, and Observer Effect, where they get possessed by spooky ghosts.
The Organians?
Maybe, I don't know. Organians are in TOS, but whether they're in Enterprise, I have no idea. Anyway, stream's over. You all can leave now. You're free to go. You're dismissed.
Really?
Thanks, Mr. Ryan.
And it's probably 3
Did you all